right, let me ask you something. What if everything you love about your modern life, the cozy bed, the perfectly temperature-controlled car, the food that just shows up at your door, what if all of that is actually making you weaker, sicker, and more anxious? It's a crazy backward idea, right? But it might just be the most important truth about our lives today. Now, this isn't some random theory we dreamed up. These ideas are pulled from an amazing book by Michael Easter called The Comfort Crisis. And let me tell you, it completely challenges how you think about, well, everything. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. We've built this perfectly safe, sterile world to protect us from every little hardship. But what if we lost something really important along the way? Something essential to being human? So you really got two ways of looking at this. On one side, you've got people like my friend here who thinks this is amazing. It's progress, the peak of humanity. But on the other side, there's the idea that all this comfort has actually become a cage, a sterile pod that's making us fragile. And I want to show you why I think that's true. A cage? Come on. Let's be real for a second. Who doesn't love the sterile pod? You wake up in a bed that feels like a cloud, you get in your perfectly climate-controlled car, you sit in a fancy ergonomic chair all day, and then you just melt into your sofa to binge-watch whatever you want. This isn't a trap, my friend. This is the dream. Exactly. We've totally solved boredom with our phones, we've solved hunger with delivery apps, we've basically engineered effort right out of our lives. We're living the life our great-grandparents couldn't even imagine. What could possibly be wrong with that? Okay, here's what's wrong. Our bodies and our brains, they haven't caught up. It's like we're running ancient, million-year-old hardware on this brand new, super cushy software. And the whole system, it's starting to crash. This is what's called the Great Evolutionary Mismatch. Think about this number for a second. 0.004%. That's it. That is the tiny, tiny fraction of all of human history that we've lived with anything like modern comforts. For the other 99.996% of the time, life was hard. And our bioagent is built for that life, not this one. And this timeline really puts it into perspective, right? For millions of years, we adapted to survive real-world challenges. Then, poof, in what is basically the blink of an eye in evolutionary terms, we created a world with almost no physical challenges at all. Our bodies have no idea what to do with all this ease. And this is the core of the mismatch. Our bodies are designed to handle short, intense, physical stress, like running from a predator or hauling a heavy load. But what do we have today? Constant, low-grade, psychological stress. Work deadlines, traffic, social media notifications. Our ancient stress response system just wasn't built for this 24/7 drip of anxiety, and it is literally breaking us down. Okay, I'm with you on the stress thing, maybe. But temperature? You really want me to be cold? I mean, why would anyone choose to be uncomfortable when we can live at a perfect 72 degrees all year long? That's just called winning. That's progress. Well, it might feel like winning, but here's the problem. 93%. That's how much time the average American now spends indoors. By living in this perfectly controlled climate bubble, we're robbing our bodies of a natural, healthy stressor that they evolved to handle. We've lost this basic form of training that our ancestors got every single day. And look, this isn't just about being tough. This is basically medicine. When you expose yourself to cold, you activate something called brown fat, which literally burns regular fat to create heat. Heat exposure boosts these amazing things called heat shock proteins that reduce inflammation and might even protect your brain. We've traded all these incredible biological benefits for a thermostat. So what's the solution? How do we fix this? How do we recalibrate our systems for this weird modern world? Well, there's this powerful, kind of extreme, ancient concept that acts like a hard reset for our comfort-addicted minds. It's called Misogi. You can think of Misogi as an evolutionary reboot. The idea is, once a year, you take on one massive challenge, something so far outside your comfort zone that it completely changes your perception of what's possible. It's about intentionally reintroducing a deep, meaningful, ancestral-level challenge into your safe modern life. And the rules are so simple, they're brilliant. Rule 1, it has to be really, really hard, like push you to your absolute limit. And rule 2, which is obviously the most important one, don't die. This isn't about being stupid or reckless. It's about carefully planning how to push your boundaries as far as you can, safely. So what does really hard actually mean? Here's the magic number. The perfect Misogi is a challenge where you have about a 50% chance of success, even if you train for it, even if you do everything right. It's not about guaranteeing a win. It's about truly exploring the absolute edge of what you're capable of. And this part is crucial. Misogi is not for your Instagram story. You don't brag about it. It's a deeply personal, inward-facing challenge. It's you versus you. The real reward isn't a trophy or a bunch of likes. It's the quiet knowledge that you kept going when the only person watching was you. That's real power. Wow, okay, that sounds incredibly intense and respectable. But let's be honest, carrying a big rock underwater, that's a lot. Most of us aren't going to do that. Is there a version of this for, normal people? Absolutely. You're right. Misogi is the extreme end of the spectrum, but the principle behind it, this idea of voluntary discomfort, is for everyone. The journey to get your resilience back doesn't start with some epic Arctic hunt. It just starts with one small, deliberate step outside your pod. And you can literally start today, right now. You can do what some people call a mini Misogi. Try taking a cold shower. When you get groceries, don't use the cart, just carry them. Put a few heavy books in a backpack and go for a walk. Or just turn your thermostat down a few degrees. There's simple things that send a powerful signal to your ancient biology. Look, at the end of the day, we've all built this cozy, comfortable cage around ourselves. We've talked about why that's a huge problem, and we've talked about how to start breaking out. So the only real question left is, how are you going to escape your comfort pod today?